Very good morning and welcome to today's webcast training the elite way using Elite Dynamics to train results. Today we are talking about smarter training with Elite Academy, the solution platform designed to ease your internal training pressures, improve your engagement and ensure consistency throughout your business. But beyond training, how can it support long-term development and succession planning? That's what we will uncover today with our subject matter expert, Dynamics 365 lead consultant to the stars, Lisa Alexander. How are we going?
Very good, thank you.
I'm so
But
glad
happy
to
to
have
be
you
back
here.
again.
I know it's been a long time since you joined us. I thought you were starting
I
to avoid
know.
me. Couldn't stay away from that limelight for too long, could you?
It has been said.
Fantastic stuff. Also in the background joining us today, keeping everything running nice and smoothly, is our creative marketing exec, Edwin Wildborough, making sure that me and Lisa can just have a fantastic time. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of our webcast today, we do have some housekeeping to take care of as always. If you do want to participate and submit any questions, you can use that Q&A functionality at the top of your Teams call today. And when we get to the Q&A part of today's webcast, if you would like to participate live with us on the webcast, all you need to do is raise your hand and you can ask your questions directly to Lisa. Just always be conscious that this webcast is being live recorded, and by participating in the live Q&A with your mic and your camera, you are consenting to being recorded. So please bear that in mind as we go through today's webcast. So just to give you a little rundown of what to expect today, we're going to discuss how Elite Academy can support your business. Lisa's going to be demonstrating a little bit of Elite Academy. Nice short demo today. It does what it says on the tin, so you'll get to see that shortly, and then we'll have that Q&A to close us off. So Lisa, I think we should start first of all with what led to the creation of Elite Academy. How does it address the evolving needs of modern business? Where you might have seen in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about modern worker and modern business and what that looks like. So how does Elite Academy sort of play into that role?
Well, obviously, it's an online platform, which is ideal. And we do work closely with, obviously, you guys, business, holiday parks, and marina industries. And the one thing that does keep coming up, feedback from our support team, professional services, and the businesses itself is basically training. Training. It's all about training. It's all about getting everybody up to speed. So many companies struggle with onboarding new employees just to consistency, like a consistent knowledge base, and the platform is so big that it's you're learning it in a very short space of time, and it's just basically how we can get the best out of that system, how you can get consistency out of your multiple parks as well, and
Yes,
that's where it was kind of born. um
perfect.
so yeah, we'll look at it obviously in the demo in a little more detail, but it is the multimedia learning platform that we all use as well internally.
And
So
I think that's actually a really important point to make is we do use it ourselves. Anyone
yeah.
that's starting with Elite Dynamics will go through Elite Academy in its entirety. So through all the operations, the finance, and
Yep.
there's modules in there for Continia, for our Continia suite as well, one of our partners. So you can get to grips with all of that. And
And I
you
think, yeah, it's important, sorry, just to cut into
you
you there, that
you,
it's
you
a
cut in all day.
it's a constantly evolving platform as well.
Yes.
Just because it's there in the state that it's in today doesn't mean that it will stay like that. We will constantly be looking to update that knowledge base and ensure that you've got the most up-to-date information.
And I think just to cut you off this time, it's my turn. Um, I will quite happily admit I am not a finance person. The thought of the pluses and the minuses being backwards completely blows my mind. It freaks me out. I learned a lot of finance from Elite Academy, that Elite Finance, those modules. I was then off the back of that able to train some finance modules. I wouldn't say I was able to train them all, but that's me as a non-finance person. But someone with a basic understanding would be able to take that and go absolutely and be able to roll that out on that one. So Lisa, we sort of spoke about the training challenges. What do you think are the sort of core challenges that these businesses are facing with training?
So there are a few challenges that do come up time and time again. And I think the biggest one that we hear is time constraint.
Yes.
Time. Nobody has time. We're all stretched really thin, especially when you're doing your day job as well. You just don't have the capacity to provide that in-depth training that you really want to sometimes, especially for your new starters. We know I was actually speaking today to a customer, and we know that in this, today we do have to go through a much wider training program where a lot of us started on Park were just kind of thrown in and expected to kind of pick it up as you go, holding on for dear life. But we do have a much more structured way of life in society at the minute. There are knowledge gaps. So without that structured program, employees do inevitably have knowledge gaps and inconsistent information, a standard that you're looking to set. So that leads to mistakes and inefficiencies.
Which I guess comes back to that point that what you were making before about us using it. So we learn
Yes.
the elite way, so that then when we are doing consultant-led training, that we all train consistently to the same way, the same process, the same standard. And you can do that. And then if you've got all these, because you were talking about time there, you've got all these seasonal employees that are swinging, and when they
Yes.
start, they swing in large volumes. So if you're looking like multi-site organizations, or even single organizations, they're gonna have that same challenge. You're gonna have, say, I don't know, 15, 20 new employees coming through. You've got 8 that are going into your reception teams. You've got a couple that are going to your activity teams to bolster them. How do you get them onboarded as quickly as possible without them feeling like they're drowning? So I think, yeah, that's where
Yeah,
the academy can really help.
100%. And that is, again, that comes back to the engagement,
Mhm.
being able to put it into bite-sized chunks as to go away and learn a tiny little section and put that into practice and something that you're familiar with, and just really, scaling that down a little bit for them. It does help. It really helps.
Oh, 100% help. I do not have I think in the TikTok era, I do not have the brain
That's it. Yeah.
capacity to be get or even just get handed loads of documentation and going, can you read through this and learn? And I just go, no, no, I don't want to. Actually, that's really
Yeah.
boring. So those bite-sized bits really, really
Yeah,
help.
it really helps. And then I think the final thing is the scalability.
Mhm.
As a business grows, they do need that training system and a platform, even just to adopt into their own training program that can keep up and improve consistency, keep consistency at a level. I mean, we've all been in a situation where you're the key to all the knowledge because
Yes.
purely because you've been there for such a long period of time. What if that person then ends up not there?
Yes.
That's a challenge. It's keeping that consistency, and I think Elite Academy was designed with all of these things in mind to provide more engagement, more engaging training, sorry, and
Mhm.
right the way through the solution, and standardizing everything, which can be accessed basically anytime, any place, anywhere, and stored for future.
Perfect. So we spoke a little bit about all of the staff arriving and knowledge retentions. How do we think Elite Academy can sort of reduce that onboarding time, and improve the retention of knowledge within a business?
So I think it would provide a much structured, interactive training style, and it will allow your new starters or new hires to get up to speed really quickly instead of relying on, your manager that maybe doesn't have that time to spend with you.
Yes.
Going, can you just show me this again? Then, or going it alone and
Yeah.
really
Well, the thing is as well, just
causing an
because you're in a
issue.
management position doesn't necessarily make you the best trainer.
You're right.
Um, and that's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's
No.
nothing that it's just that some people are natural trainers. They have that ability to engage with their staff, and some people are just like, training's not for me. Don't want anything to do with it. Very, very good at what they do, about managing their teams and their resources. When it comes to that training, it's just not. And that this will just take
Yeah.
that issue straight out the pot.
And I think that works on the flip side as well when you think about how you learn and how
Mhm.
you adopt your learning style. I mean, I will learn completely differently to the way you learn.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Elite Academy will provide as well. There's different, you'll see it when we have a look at the quick demo. There are different methods, there are different ways that you can adopt or use it all, and it's just about that, I think I say that muscle memory, just improving that kind of day-to-day. Oh, I get it, I'm using it, I'm doing it, and you can go back and refer back, and it's all standardized.
Yeah, because I think I would say my learning style is a bit more hash bash. I would rather just get in about it, see if I can break it, and see what happens. Lisa, unfortunately, has been victim to me hash bashing things in the past to try and see if I can get something to do. I will say that was in a sandbox environment and not in a live one. Just point that out very, very quickly. So let's think bigger picture here. So we're talking about succession planning, team development. We've all been there, as a manager, like we need that knowledge needs to be shared. People in your team should be ready to take your job. I'm a big believer in that. You train people up so that if you are to exit the business, you're to leave, then someone should be ready. If not two or three people should be sort of working towards that level. Just before we sort of hash that bit out, we're probably going to use the word super user quite a lot, which is a term that we use across the business quite a lot as well, and with our customers. So can you just give me a quick overview of what a super user is?
Yeah, of course. So you'll probably know if you've been in a project with us that we do say who are your super users, especially when you're handed over to our support team. Who are your super users? And basically, what we classify as a super user are your elite champions within your business. So someone, it can be as a whole. We do have some customers that, take on the whole thing themselves, or even a module. So who are your super users for that module? Does not necessarily mean it has to be the manager. It has to just be that person that's taking on the responsibility of basically being your expert in your business. And how we define that as well is somebody that before you would maybe log a ticket, if your super user doesn't know the answer to the question, that's when you would log your support case. So that's the person, that's your go-to, that's your your superhero in your business for the module or for the solution.
100%. So if you were just thinking about that, because you were talking about in the singular, so that person, how many people within, let's just take a department, let's keep it simple. How many people within a department would you say should be super user trained? Let's look, what we're a one site, one department, keep it nice and straightforward. How many super users would you be looking for ideally in that department?
In an ideal blue sky, the grass is green scenario, this does not, we all know what it's like working day to day. At least on a small park, two, at least. If you're bigger, multi-parks, we would definitely be looking at least one per site. At least one for the finance side of things, one for ops, especially when you then, expand and you're looking at bookings and activities. Bookings is probably a beast in itself. If you've worked with bookings, there are so many moving parts, and that's a full-time job in itself. So it does depend on your business, but we would, that's the kind of what we would really expect for you to have a good, a good structured training system within your organization.
I feel like I've just been told off because I was single. I was the super user at the company that I worked for before I came and joined Elite. I had not shared as much knowledge as I should have. I know. So then when it came to that moving on, I mean, the industry's tiny, but it's actually, everybody sort of moves about within. I hadn't prepared my team, and not even my team. So I was a super user for the company. So we had every department, I had a month to get them up to scratch. I should have been enjoying that time rolling back what I was doing, but actually I had to spend the whole month training everybody up.
Mass panic.
And to be fair to my boss at the time, he kept saying, I mean, it's a horrible expression, but he kept saying, what happens if you get hit by a bus tomorrow? What if you get hit by a bus tomorrow? And he kept saying it and saying it and saying it. I kept going, tomorrow's problem. And then it became today's problem, and it became a nightmare. If I'd had Elite Academy, they could have done a lot of the base training, and then I could have done like a Q&A session just to tie up any sort of bits that they found that they didn't quite understand or just needed a bit of clarification on. So, which I think leads me into my next question then. So how do we prepare, how does this help for succession planning? How do we make sure that those people are there to take the reins, to be that person in case, like me, you might have got hit by a bus? I didn't, but it could have happened.
Well, it's exactly that, as you say. We know this industry is really large, but also really small, and people do move around quite a bit. We do have a lot of seasonal workers that come and go as well. You've maybe got people, in and out of uni. That's, I'm sure, where we've all kind of started in this situation. So if you are training your team to be super users, using EliteAcademy means they have that clear upward projection. They have that clear path. Your processes are solidified through, and it's not a scary thing handing on the knowledge. I think sometimes people are a little bit afraid of that, but it means your business is protected, and they're stepping forward while you're sort of stepping back the way. Not what we want to think about anyone leaving, because you all love your jobs and want to stay forever,
100%.
but it protects your business, and it just
Definitely.
means you've got that constant that constant progression and that constant sharing of the knowledge, as well as it being there to refer back to whenever they need it. It's not like you've got to remember that in your brain forever. It's there. I need to go back and look at that. Right, I'm going to do that now. I've got my sandbox. I'm going to practice that until I get it. And then you've got that person to maybe go back and say, just before you go, is that correct? Am I doing that the right way?
And
It
it'd be really
really
nice that
works.
these managers, these HODs, these knowledge keepers could maybe have a day off without someone asking them how to do something.
Exactly. You don't want that phone call.
No, it's
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night, and you're like, hiya, can you help me? And you're like, oh, especially these routines. There's some things like site fees, for instance, you might only be doing it once a year. It comes to it, and you go, oh, I'm not quite sure I remember that. Well, you
We
just log
all
into
have
the
to do it.
academy
We
step
all
by
have to
step.
refresh ourselves.
Yep,
I
constantly.
do. Yep.
Okay, right. Thank you for that. I think it's probably time we started to look at EliteAcademy that we've been badgering. We've been speaking on for a little hot minute there. So just to have a quick agenda of what's going to be in Lisa's demo for us today. We're going to have a little overview of the EliteAcademy's intuitive learning portal, and we're going to look at how EliteAcademy works for your users, learning some different styles there, that show me, try me, and test me, so we can get to everybody's different learning styles. So I'll tell you what, let's take a little look at EliteAcademy. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Welcome to today's session, introducing you to EliteAcademy, and hopefully empowering you to unlock the potential of our elite solutions for your business. This learning platform is designed to help you and your team master essential skills and apply them effectively in your businesses. We all learn in different ways. That's why EliteAcademy is built to accommodate different learning styles, ensuring that everyone, from new hires to experienced users, can develop their skills in the most effective way possible. Once registered, you will get access to our intuitive learning portal, where from this dashboard, you are easily able to navigate through the modules and get started immediately. Each module is broken down into bite-sized tutorials, allowing learners to progress at their own pace, whether they prefer structured step-by-step guidance or hands-on practice. If I just drill into our first tutorial here, you will see that again it's broken down into bite-sized modules and tutorials. And you have a step-by-step learning guide for those who prefer to read instructions. You also have Show Me, where the video will walk you through the steps. So that's for our visual learners. And there is also PDFs that can be downloaded and kept and referred to time and time again. And then for those who learn best through a hands-on experience, our Try Me and Test Me sections allow users to interact with the system in real time, reinforcing the key processes through practice. So once I select Try Me, the video will play and you will see that it will show me exactly where to click, just reiterating that muscle memory for this particular process. And then, as mentioned, we have our Test Me section, which will then ask you to apply the same functionality independently, so helping your users build confidence and competency on this particular function. So if we just go into the Test Me section, and from here I can then follow the practices that I have just been taught. And the system will then evaluate our progress and provide any feedback on areas that may need improvement. One of the biggest advantages of the Elite Academy Learning Portal is its ability to integrate with your own systems and completely transferable. So training in a familiar environment will help your users solidify these new skills, making it easier for your team to adopt any new procedures and apply their knowledge. So whether you prefer a standard out-the-box sandbox or a custom setup tailored to your business, with Elite Academy, we will be able to provide both and support you accordingly. It's also important to remember that Elite Academy isn't just about the portal and new users to the system. We too recognise that learning doesn't stop after the first session, and we understand that ongoing training is essential for your business growth. Elite Academy also offers, and speak to your account managers about this, extra training, and this can be on a module by module basis or full super user training for new starts and your experienced members. Refresher workshops can be arranged and tailored to suit exactly what your team needs. And we also offer Q&A sessions on modules with our subject matter experts. They may just show you a hidden trick of the trade that you've not thought about. Elite Academy is also constantly evolving with regular updates to ensure that you have access to the latest features and process improvements. This means that you might even find a new way and a more efficient way to complete the tasks, saving you time and effort. So whatever your learning style, Elite Academy is here to support you and your team and allow you to unlock the full potential of your business. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for that, Lisa. Loved it.
You're very welcome.
And getting 100% score on your workday changes as well. Congratulations.
Go me.
That's a great thing though. You can actually see where you're potentially making mistakes and they can get picked up straight away, so you can better perform. Don't forget, if you do have any questions that you would like to ask myself and Lisa, you can use that Q&A function at the top of the webcast call. But beyond initial training, Lisa, how does Elite Academy support that ongoing team development? So we've got them in, they've started, we know everything. What happens next?
So I think, it's really important to say that Elite Academy isn't just about the onboarding process. It's designed for continuous development. It's designed to keep going back in so employees can either upskill in different areas at their own pace, or whether it's just finessing their knowledge already, mastering their advanced, the advanced features of the solutions for their day-to-day operations. We also do introduce new training modules regularly to ensure that employees stay ahead of the industry trends and best practices. So like I said, it's not a stagnant thing. It is constantly added to and evolving.
Perfect. So how easy is it going to be for companies, whether they're parks, marinas, to actually integrate EliteAcademy into their existing HR and training programs? They've got something in place. So where does EliteAcademy fit in with that?
Okay, so EliteAcademy can be used as a standalone training platform, or it can be incorporated into your existing management systems. It's ready to go, so learners can access it anytime they want. As long as they're registered, that's all they need. They can go in and do whatever they're expected to do, but at a time that suits them. And so it does work really well. It's very flexible. It goes so that for that reason, it goes hand in hand with the standard onboarding of an employee to take the strain away from them.
And I think it's probably just important to add in there. So we've obviously showed it on a desktop, but it can be it's mobile responsive. So if you need it on your mobile or whatever, you want to go sit under a tree and learn how to set up a new chart of accounts, you can go and do that
exactly.
from your mobile phone, which is great. No questions for you today, Lisa. So you must have done a fantastic job, which we love. We love that for you. So just thank you to everyone that's joined us today. As always, if you want to start implementing EliteAcademy, you would like to, even though we're saying that about the solution, but obviously you can book training courses that are led by a consultant, Q&As, refresher training, whatever you need to do. You can reach out to your Elite Dynamics account managers. We'll always let them know that you've popped by as well, so you can start that conversation with them and you can get a personalized demo a little bit more in depth, because obviously we only showed one little function there, but they all work the same. You can see exactly what areas are available to you. So as we look towards our future webcasts, we've got a full year of webcast scheduled in already. On the 26th of February, we're going to be welcoming our partners at Excelsis HR. So they're going to be showing us how their HR solution can be used to recruit and onboard, sort of going hand in hand with EliteAcademy about that recruitment and onboarding situation. Obviously, their solution also extends into full HR management, contracts, training, holiday requests, clocking in and out for work. It does everything for HR. So if you are interested in that, please join us on the 26th of February. That'll be at the end of the month at 11 a.m. And then on the 12th of March, I can't believe we're already talking about March already, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to be joined by eNotion, who are our Power BI partners. So they're going to be showing their finance reporting solution. It's incredible. So if you are head of finance, an FD, or you know someone that is, let them know something very, very cool is coming. It blew my mind when I seen it the other day. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And that's as we move into performance monitoring and improvement. That's going to be our theme there for March. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time today to join us, and hopefully we will see you all again in the very near future. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.